good morning. It's Tuesday morning and it's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. In this video, we are going to focus on severe weather potential, not today, but on Wednesday, mostly late in the afternoon and into the evening. In the meantime, today's going to be a nice day. We had a muggy and warm day yesterday with temperatures in the lower 80s and dew points elevated, but as you can see, the radar is quiet this morning and actually some drier air has pushed into the region overnight, knocking those dew points out of the 60s and back into the 50s. Generally, in our area, we consider 50s to be pretty comfortable when it comes to the moisture content of the atmosphere. So we have that going for us today. But it is going to be a pretty wild week of weather. Last week was kind of boring, but anything but boring is the call this week. In fact, tomorrow will likely be our hottest day until sometime late next spring. We're talking about middle 80s, not record territory tomorrow, but way above the average, which is about 73. Then way below the average starting on Thursday. Now, appropriately enough, autumn will begin officially in the northern hemisphere Thursday evening, but all day Thursday it's going to feel like October. Even cooler likely on Friday. Talk about a crisp and cool evening for high school football Friday evening, but we will be dry, it looks like, and temperatures stay near or a little below the average through the weekend with another shot of cooler air coming our way next week. So as you can see, it's going to be a real roller coaster ride. The transition from summer to fall happening right on time, and yes, it could certainly be a bumpy ride. Tomorrow's severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. The Storm Prediction Center, or SPC, is kind of a branch of the National Weather Service, and they're the ones responsible for issuing kind of these broad severe weather risk outlooks. As you can see in eastern Ohio, northwest PA, western New York, all of us are in the slight risk of severe weather tomorrow. I kind of prefer using a number system as opposed to these terms like marginal and slight and enhanced. That can be confusing for some people because all those terms kind of sound the same, right? If you think of our severe weather risk scale as a 1 to 5 scale, basically we're in category 2 on that 1 to 5 scale across our viewing area Wednesday, late in the afternoon and into the evening. It's not the highest risk, but it's certainly not the lowest, and we find ourselves in a slight risk for severe weather, probably 10 to 15 times a year, if I had to ballpark it. So it's a day that we got to stay weather aware, and it's a day in which all modes of severe weather will be a possibility, including an isolated tornado. This green coloring here is, in all of our area, a 2% risk of an isolated tornado within 25 miles of any one location. Now, 2% sounds like a really small number, right? Well, consider that on a normal standard day like today, the risk of an isolated tornado is almost zero. It's minuscule, way below 1%. A day that has a 2% tornado risk is orders of magnitude higher, that risk, than just a standard day. So this is going to be a day in which all modes of severe weather will be a possibility, including an isolated tornado, because we have lots of what we call wind shear aloft. A lot of changing of the wind direction and mostly speed as you go up through the atmosphere. And when the wind changes direction or changes speed, you can get circulation forming in the atmosphere, which can start out in the horizontal, but then as updrafts and thunderstorms get going, that horizontal rotation can be turned into the vertical, and that's when you get the potential for some tornadic activity. Don't want to focus too much on tornadoes because it's on the lower end of the risk scale tomorrow, but it is going to be something that we have to pay attention to, and also the threat for just straight line winds and even some hail will become possible late in the day. Now, tomorrow will start with maybe some noisy thunderstorms. I doubt there's much severe weather at the start of the day tomorrow, but this could be a little appetizer first thing in the morning. If you pay attention to the clocks on this side of the screen, this is just around daybreak tomorrow morning. A couple of showers and storms can be around, but this is not the main event. Once these leave, the sun will come out, it'll turn hot, it'll turn humid. It's going to be dry at lunchtime into the early afternoon, but as we go deeper into the afternoon, at some point we'll more than likely be put under either a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch. And by late in the afternoon, this is about 4 or 5 o'clock, this is what the radar, generally speaking, should look like. It's kind of interesting. Now, this is just one run of one computer model. We look at a lot of models and a lot of runs of a lot of models, but this will give you the general flavor of what some of the models are depicting. You'll notice things here late in the afternoon aren't super organized. They're kind of in clusters or segments. If things stay kind of in this mode, instead of congealing into one organized squall line, that will actually increase the chance of supercells and isolated tornadoes and even large hail. If things congeal more into a straight squall line that just comes bowing southward, that will tend to decrease the chances of tornadic activity, somewhat decrease the chances of large hail, but it will increase the chance of widespread, just damaging winds, strong winds. So if things stay disorganized, kind of like you see depicted on the model here, that definitely raises the possibility of some real mischievous action out there with maybe some isolated tornadoes and some large hail. This is the simulated radar as we get closer to sunset Wednesday evening. So this is 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. This is kind of prime time. I'm kind of focusing on, say, 4 to 9 or 5 to 9 p.m. as the most likely period to see general severe weather, and then this threat will diminish as we go into the overnight. Let's zoom back out here. What I'm going to show you here is just one kind of model product called STP, or Significant Tornado Parameter. Basically trying to highlight where tornadic activity may be more likely than other places. And this set of modeling would suggest that those STP values are kind of maximized close to I-90 in Northeast Ohio, Northwest PA, Southwest New York, but they're elevated in a larger region. They're just maximized maybe up here. Just because you see the bullseye up there doesn't mean isolated tornadoes can't happen anywhere else. That may be just where the ingredients are maximized. This is a look at the potential rotation segments within thunderstorms. And again, the bullseye may be in Northwest PA, from Erie down towards Clearfield, DuBois, Franklin, Oil City, kind of east of I-79 mostly. But that just is where maybe the bullseye will be. Anywhere outside of that bullseye, the potential is still there for segments of thunderstorms to try to exhibit some rotation. But this is something that we're going to keep a close eye on late in the afternoon and into early in the evening on our Wednesday. Lots to keep track of. We'll have you covered all day today on our newscasts on social media as well. And then chances are we're going to be streaming live tomorrow evening on social media, the WFMJ Storm Tracker 21 app, and mostly after the 6 p.m. newscast. We, of course, are on television now every day, every weekday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. But more than likely, if things come together as expected tomorrow, we'll be doing some online coverage after the end of that newscast Wednesday evening. So we've got a lot to keep track of. Stay tuned. Make sure you have the Storm Tracker 21 app downloaded and ready with push alerts activated. And we'll talk to you later today on 21 News at 5, 6, and 11, and again on all my social media outlets.